Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen, it's your host Shane Guilford, and once again you've joined us for the SimHaus V8 League 2023 round 9 at Sandown, our first Enduro for the year. Very excited about this one. 75 laps these boys have to do around this Victorian circuit, around the old racecourse drive. Weather's looking good today, 25 degrees. Don't expect any rain in the clouds. Air temp 21.9, track temp 32. Quite warm, but not as warm as our last race at the Bend. Alright, so we're currently in qualifier session, and we've got a few new drivers we'll introduce. So we'll get on track and get that done. Before we do that, we'll bring up the season standings as it sits before tonight's round. At the moment, Craig Broadbent, defending champion, is at the #1 position, just ahead of Vlad Tokarev, who is actually missing from tonight's race. So not too sure what's happened with Vlad. He's been racing with us all year, as you can see, from Russia, so we hope everything's okay there. Eric Chantry in P3 holding that position after the Bend last round. He's racing from Indonesia. David Baker is racing from Entertainment Park, right here in Bankstown, New South Wales, and that is where we broadcast live every round from Entertainment Park, based just next to the Bankstown Airport. Always welcome to come and join in. We'll show you some live crosses to the guys racing on our full motion sims. But before we do that, P5 is Ludvig Askinas from Lithuania. He's back in. A bit of a late entry, no quali, so hopefully he's done some practice. Scott Flack is with us in the mellow yellow. And Matt Collins, who's on screen, our series sponsor, throwing up another $100 for the top 3 tonight's event. The Sarkises are missing from tonight, so we haven't seen them either, but Frederick Sarkis is currently P8, and James Spotto, who is here tonight, who will probably jump a couple places, is in P9, dropping a spot after missing last round, or last couple of rounds if you look at the table there. And Troy Jaslowski on screen at the moment. He's currently holding the top 10 position. There are plenty more, but we'll get on track as there's plenty to talk about. So as I said, we are in qualifier session with 4 and a bit minutes to go. And we lost our hard drive with all the information, so I've been working hard to get everything back in order for our stream tonight, heading into the Endurance Series for the V8s. We also run the British Touring Car Championship and the Champions League, which last week, if you joined us, was the Porsche 911 RSR at Targa Florio. Very exciting event for us there. So we've got 15 drivers on track at the moment. Matt Collins currently in the prime position up front. Scott Flack up into P2. He's had a short run in quali. And Craig Broadbent, championship leader and defender, is in P3. Watch him towards the end of the stint. He always likes to charge home, hitting late and coming out quick on fresher tyres. So we'll see if that's his plan for today at Sandown, taking the curbs quite aggressively. Eric Chantra for HM Engineering, our Indonesian driver. So if you're watching from Asia, make sure you cheer him on. HM Engineering, no stranger to sim racing in the Asia Pacific region, currently in P4. Jason Brooks rejoins in the local Legends car, probably the highest position that car's ever seen in real life. And Jason Brooks, racing from Victoria, is up in P5 at the moment. David Baker in P6, just wanting to smash a quick lap. Andrew Chalui rejoined us after a Townsville round. He was doing quite well there, and unfortunately copped a mistimed pit lane penalty, which cost him a good result there. So it's good to see him back here at Entertainment Park. Jeff Wynn also here at Entertainment Park. And an old friend of Race Centre SimHaus is Bradley Martin. Move location, move state, so now he's racing from Queensland and no longer in New South Wales. Luke Tolhurst, one of our local boys from Entertainment Park, he's in the top 10 at the moment. Martin Hanbury is one of our new drivers, so we welcome him along. And hope to see some good stuff coming out of the Ned Kelly Racing camp. Jamie Hemme, real life driver based in New Zealand, no stranger to Race Centre and SimHaus, but one of his first events with us in a couple of years. So again, some old faces coming in. You can see him just warming up the tyres as he's on his out lap, I think. Yes, about to come across the start finish line. Troy Cieslawski in 13th. Ludwig Askinas will probably be coming across for a very healthy lap time there. So he's knocked us a full second, moving up into P11. But he's got a couple of, probably on his last lap if he wants to keep going. He's got one more lap in it. His teammate James Spotto in 13 at the moment, pushing Hemme down to 14 and Cieslawski down to 15. So that means Martin Hanbury finished a lap. As long as he crosses the line in the next 25 seconds, he should be able to finish this lap before the race starts. So Craig Broadbent, series leader, now moving up into the pole position with series sponsor Matt Collins in P2. Relegating Scott Black down into P3, but Scott Black on a fast one at the moment. You can see purple sector, fastest sector of the race, of the qualify session so far, and that's the end of quali now. So this is his last ditch attempt, looking really smooth here. Crossing the line, taking P2. Great job from him. You could see him on a flyer, so great job. Matt Collins in the pits now. So Matt Collins in P3. All right, just see who else is out on track. Matt Collins is out on a lap at the moment. It looks like he's pulled it up short. He's not going to get any faster there. So who else is out there? Oh, Matt Collins taking pole position last lap. Congratulations, 104.299. Wow, that was a great effort, Matt Collins. So Chandra Brooks, I think we're all in the pits now except for Matt Collins. Congratulations. Pole position goes to sponsorship. Series sponsor, I should say, Matt Collins from MJBUILD. So I'll show the session results for qualify. Okay, so Matt Collins grabs pole last second, just ahead. Oh, look at that time there, just ahead of Craig Broadbent. 8/1000ths of a second. Scott Flack in P3. Chandra will be starting on the second row. Jason Brooks, David Baker the third row. Behind them, Andrew Chalui and James Spotto. Then it's Jeff Nguyen and Ludwig Askinas, so your top 10. Bradley Martin, Luke Tolhurst, then it's Martin Hanbury, Jamie Hemme, Troy Cieslawski. All right, we'll go to a commercial break, come back, and we'll get the race started.
Entertainment Park has so much to it.
And we are proud to announce that we have joined forces with this incredible place. They've got simulation cars
You can choose your own car like a Formula One.
or V8 Supercars, and you can choose your own track. I love the mountain. I'm king of the mountain. Not Mount Jewett, Mount Panorama.
Plus, there's an incredible go-kart track. No fumes, no smell.
And it's got a booster button too!
These booster buttons, unlike a video game, they're real. I'll catch you. Beat your fastest lap. Challenge your friends. Have a feed at the cafe with an unbelievable menu. What? Dessert, coffee, and of course, a fully licensed bar. 10-pin bowling, video games, skills testers, laughs, play area, chill out areas and lounges, DJs and fun music. It's safe, friendly, and plenty of parking. But some people drive to the city for that. That's stupid. Book now at entertainmentpark.com.au.
Okay, so the grid again, Matt Collins, Craig Broadbent, front row behind them, Scott Flack, Eric Chandra from Indonesia, starting in P4. Jason Brooks, David Baker, third row, just noticed the driver at the back. The grid issues there, and that's the grid so far, top 12. Just realised my mic was off then, but welcome back. We've got the race now. Just saw an accident in turn 1, lap 1. This field's starting to spread out now. We've got Craig Broadbent, Matt Collins. Oh, Joe almost took out the back of Broadbent there. We'll watch this one closely. On board with Matt Collins. On the inside, who's going to break deeper? Collins, Broadbent under pressure, goes wide, has to pull it back in. Under tight braking, nice and controlled there. Collins just making Broadbent work for it as Chandra is further back on his own, trying to catch Baker out on his own as well. The two Red Bulls have come from the 10 and 11 to squabble over P5 at the moment. Fastest lap going to Broadbent, but watch that sector come up once again. The two Penwrights, Jeff Wynn and Luke Tolhurst. Just on board with Jeff Newen with the Chubba Chop and Luke Tolhurst next to him. So both teammates, good mates, racing from here in our full motion simulators in Entertainment Park. Alright, so back at track now. Red Bulls, Penwrights coming through the rear of the field. Brad Martin up there as well. He's up in a 9 and he's got Jamie Hemme trying to get on the inside. Brooks looks like he got caught up in that earlier incident because he qualified a lot better than that. So Brooks and Flack 2 coming through the field now. Troy Cieslawski just letting him through. Andrew Chalui just trying to get back in his rhythm. It's a long race. And he'll be cutting through the field as the race goes on. 75 laps, a very long race indeed as we get back on board with Matt Collins. Nicely through that last chicane onto the main straight, charging. Oh no, that was just the back left-hander. Very tight that corner. That's going to get a lot of people in trouble. You can see the gap there as we go to chopper cam. Not much in it as Collins just staying in the slipstream, showing the nose under brakes. Will he get it done? Oh yeah, he gets it done. Takes it through to the lead. Great move there. Chandra doing his best to stay with him as these two are stretching away now. David Baker out on his own, still in P4, but the battle's back. It's a four-way battle now. We've got Spotto, Ludwig Askinas. Looks like Brooksy's coming up through the field now in P8. So too Scott Black in P9. Oh, Tolhurst undone in the pits already on a new set of tyres. So Tolhurst just coming out of the pits. Hopefully he doesn't get lapped this early or gets threatened to give way because he'll lose too much time there. But the boy's still coming around onto the last corner at the moment as we speak. So he's pretty safe for that one. Five laps down, 70 to go. Chandra trying to get out some cool air down the main straight, but it's still Collins and Broadbent as we go into lap 6. Just over a minute per lap, so it's going to be a good 90-minute lap tonight. As Collins starting to dominate. A couple of purple sectors showing up on my timing screen. As he's starting to pull a little bit away. Not too sure if Broadbent's just looking after those tyres. Matt Collins always tries his best to look after the tyres, but usually struggles early on. And with this battle putting pressure on Broadbent, I dare say he's not looking after the tyres that much. Speaking of tyres, we'll see what compounds the guys are on. Only Chalui, Hambry and Tolhurst got a mixed setup there. The only one selecting hard, so really struggling on those soft tyres. So the battle at the moment, Baker out on his own still, and Chandra just in front. So that's Baker, Spotto, and here comes Brooksy and Jeff Wynn, Newen. Brooksy on the outside. Jeff just tucking in behind Jason. Very smooth. Jason, very accomplished driver in the sim world and the slot car racing world as well. I think Australian champion multiple times. Jason Brooks currently working for Phillip Island Raceway, so he's living the dream at the moment as he joins us here for round 9 of the V8 Championship, our first Enduro. 75 laps, 7 laps down, a long way to go. So Jason Brooks doing a good job. Scott Black just losing touch there, but still within. Oh, Black going out wide. Will he come up on the inside? Ludwig taking the defensive line through there. Matt Collins is pulling away. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. That's Askinas from Lithuania out front. Oh, just balked Scott Flack there. That's going to affect the run down the main straight. Oh, someone coming out pits. That's Chalui coming in amongst the pack there. He's on fresh tyres. Oh, he's let that go. He's going to spin. Hopefully he holds it. cold tyres, it's not going to give him the same grip he just had last lap. But Baker out in P4 at the moment. If we look at the championship points as we speak, it's Broadbent, Tokarev, Chandra. Just ignore the A and the B there. So Baker's defending against Flack for the championship, and Collins, a fair way down, is looking to get himself further up the table. Oh, and that's Martin Hanbury. We'll see if we can see what happened. Looks like he just got it loose and just coming out of the sand trap there. Yeah, just struggling in the grass. Managed just to get back on track now. So we go back to the front. Matt Collins stretching away now. I think that was, could have been Tolhurst just in front. So Tolhurst almost about to be shown the blue flags at the moment as he goes under the Jim Beam banner. He's got the leaders coming round to lap him after 9 laps, but he's taken a pit stop. So when these leaders take their first pit stop, my prediction for first pit stop window is around the 20 to 25 lap mark. So write that in pencil, and just keep an eye out for when the boys start coming into pit lane. You'll see on the timing screen if their colour turns blue, it means they're coming in through the pits. Oh, Broadbent Collins just jumping over the curbs there, trying everything they can to stretch that lead. It's about a 1.5 second lead at the moment. And it's changing from Indonesia, as you can see, down the straight. A very long straight, long gap to David Baker there. He's further back, comfortably in P4, but here comes James Spotto. And Jason Brooks as well. Jason charging. Jason Brooks' last lap was 1:06.6, same as James Spotto, and David was a 1:66. So they're all lapping in exactly the same time. The gap should be coming down, but Scott Flack has got the fastest lap of the race, or no, that belongs to Matt Collins at the moment, and that's only by a whisker to Craig Broadbent. Brooksy trying everything he can to get past Spotto. Looks like he's made the mistake. It's a drag race down the straight. We can see Spotto just coming across the line, covering off the potential late break of James Brooks, Jason Brooks I should say. But he survives for this lap only, or both of them really charging over the curbs there. Very aggressive on the undercarriage of the car. Got Jeff Wynn just behind with Scott Flack as well. So there's another battle. Brooksy tucking in tight to Spotto. Will he make the mistake through here? Trying to get him on the outside. Tucked up on the inside. Can he get the power now? No, he can't. Too much wheel spin. That looks like could be Czeslowski on the inside there. No, that's Chalui. Coming around, Scott Flack and Jeff Wynn too. There's another battle here. So Flack giving it all he's got. He's got Scott Flack charging behind, tucking in as much as he can. Long straightaway down the back here now. Can Flack get up, get in the slipstream here, goes, he's definitely gaining. He's pulling out, but does he have enough momentum to get the job done? Drag straight down into the, I'll call them the S's. Jeff Wynn surviving for another lap here. Spotto and Brooksy, battle still going. Brooksy trying to get the inside. He's trying every line, but Spotto covering a very clean line here, making it very hard for Brooks to overtake. So too Jeff Wynn with Scott Flack further back. And we've got Czeslowski and Hemi. The Queenslander up front in the Ned Whiskey car, and he's got the Kiwi right behind him. And Brad Martin coming to grips with the heavy V8 once again. It's been a while since he's driven one of these, so he's getting used to it once again in a new location. Oh, just getting us sideways through turn one, putting on a show for you guys at home. Make sure you leave a comment, say g'day, tell us who you're following. As it's Matt Collins, Chantra, and here Matt Collins, Broadbent, and Chantra moving up now. Cat back's only 2 seconds now, so he is closing. But is he doing any conservation with the tyres? I don't think so. So come through for lap 14. Another 61 laps to go. Long race this one. We're going to see a few pit stops. We're going to see some tricky strategies play out here. As I said, look for around the lap 20 to 25 mark. Some guys might even try and go to 30 to get the first stint out of the way and then charge in while everyone else is getting quite tired towards the end of a 90-minute race. Brooksy still behind Spotter. Looks like Scott Flack is there as well. Jeff Wynn's falling down to P9. Okay, so Brooksy up into P6. Oh, he's got it better this time. Oh, right up the back bump, but just giving Spotto a bit of a push there. Up into 6th gear, heavy braking at the 150 mark. Oh, he's just locked up a little bit, but he's managed to get the inside curb to help him in. The track's starting to rubber up now, so the grip's coming to him. Look how high they get off the deck there. We're looking back from James Spotto car to Jason Brooks. Oh, Brooks taking the wider entry, but he is not able to cut in and get the job done. Oh, there's a mistake, and that's all it needed. Just one mistake, and Brooksy's through. So that's Spotto down to 6th, and Scott Flack is now chasing him down. A lot of work to do after that turn 1 incident. Well, it seems like Flacky's got the magnet for it. He always attracts those sort of incidents. As the field's starting to split up now. As we've still got Matt Collins out front, Craig Broadbent P2 and Chantra in 3. So Broadbent closing in on Collins now. Now he's charging right before he wants to make the pit stop. So he's putting the pressure on, see what Collins can do if he wants to make a mistake. Oh, he's broken early. He's relaxing. There it goes. He's forcing Collins to make that mistake, pushing too much into that corner. Now he's just got to catch the car again. Broadbent just watching all this on screen. See, this is where the mistakes start to creep in. Oh, and that's Collins in just before. So 17 laps is pretty quick for a stint. That's going to mean he's going to have to come through the lane at least 2 more times, if not 3 more times. That's Broadbent out in front now. Collins through the lane for his set of rubber. So how quick can he get out? Will he change compounds? So currently in pit lane at P6 as Black just goes past. He stayed on softs. So back out on track again. Rejoining. Rejoins in P7. I just heard it sounded like Scott Flack just... Oh, and that's Martin Hanbury again in the trap there. Outside turn 1. So it looks like Chandra now closing in on Broadbent even more with a 1 second gap. Will they come into the pits to cover off Matt Collins' pit stop? No, they're going to choose their own strategy. Collins is going to suffer towards the end of the race with that early pit stop. And that means Baker's up into P3 at the moment. I can see his tyre attrition, and it's not too bad, although the front right really takes a pounding here at, I was about to say Calder, but it's Sandown, as it's a dominant anti-clockwise direction. The left-handers are taking a pounding. Brooksy, where's he coming from? He's come from the back of the pack. That's where he's been coming from. His last lap of 106.5 against Baker just in front with a 107.1. So he's taken off half a second off Baker in that last lap alone. And he's got 3.5 seconds to make up. So long way to go, but he's bringing James Spotto with him as he's got a 1.5 second gap back to P5 with James Spotto. Blackie still solid, lapping in the 106.5s on par with Jason Brooks. So if they both lap at these times, they're definitely going to catch. But here comes Matt Collins on fresh boots. Oh, sounds like someone else is coming in. Jason Brooks. That's Brooksy into the lane as well. So is he going to get a good stop? Yeah, just locking up as he comes in. Revs are rising. It should be a quick 6 second stop, 6 or 8 second stop. Yeah, beautiful from the pit crew there. So here he joins. And he's back out in P9. Okay, so to refresh and recap, Broadbent out in front. Will he use this? No, he's out for another lap. Chandra. Yes, Chandra's in for his stop now. Very tight. It's a 50-kilometre pit lane entry here, and very awkward to get the speed down to 50k. As he stops in his box quite nicely. Baker going through, taking P2 at the moment. Lengthening that stop is, what are we at, 21 laps. So if he gets it to 25, he could just get away with the 2-stop race strategy. Broadbent definitely on par for that one, as he's now 16 seconds ahead of everyone else with a pit stop to come. Matt Collins back up into P3 already, making light work of everyone before him. His last lap was a 105.1. The rest of the boys are 106s, 108s, and Chandra with a 116, but that included the pit stop as well. So it's Broadbent, Baker, Collins. Then it's Flack. Chandra. In 5, Ludwig yet to pit. If they save the tyres, oh, here comes Broadbent and Baker at the same time. So Broadbent out of the pits, Baker just getting up on the stocks now. So that's Collins back out in front. He come out early to get the undercut and it's worked for him. He's now got a 2.5 second gap ahead of Craig Broadbent, but over the course of the race that's going to cost him an extra pit stop. But it looks like Broadbent couldn't make these tyres last 25 laps either, so it could be an extra pit stop for both of them. We'll see how we go. Always the opening laps really are harsh on the tyres because they're all together. They're going to race each other and do what they don't really want to do in a pack. As we see Chandra back in the field now, just behind Scott Flack. Up on the inside, Flack going to let him go. He doesn't want to get caught up in that. He's not there for position. He doesn't want to get spun out once again. So it's Chandra up in 3, Flack in 4, Ludwig Askinas in 5. Here he comes onto the main straight, yet to pit. So too Flack's yet to pit as well. Will he pit this lap? No, he's out for another one. So he's definitely playing the long game, trying to last another couple of laps. So Jason Brooks is back in P6. Baker rejoins after his pit stop in P7. We'll see who's pitted there. Yes, so Collins, Broadbent, Chandra definitely have pitted. Flack Scan is yet to pit. Brooks, I think, already has pit, so that's wrong. Baker is back out on track. Spotto in 8. So Baker 7, Spotto in 8. There he is. Jamie Hemi up in a P9 in the Shell Helix car, racing from New Zealand at the moment. Then it's Troy Cieslowski in your top 10, racing from Queensland. As you can tell, we've got international drivers here tonight. That's the beauty of R Factor 2. You can race from anywhere in the world. And we've got Jeff Wynn in P11, racing from Entertainment Park here. Actually, that's Jeff Newen. Still sucking on that chubba chop. Almost time for a pit stop and a new lollipop. And that's Luke Tolhurst in the number 3 car just beside him, both in the Penrite vehicles. And we'll go to David Baker as well. So on board with Baker in P7 at the moment, all out there by himself. But as you can see, sitting on one of these 4Motion simulators. This is what it looks like on triple 43-inch screens. Almost a 1-to-1 scale. So it goes under the bridge there now. Racing from Entertainment Park, and this could be yours too if you want to come and try the simulators. You can try it out for 15 minutes up to an hour, if not more. Join as a membership and get cheap rates per year and become part of the community here at Entertainment Park. Okay, so 25 laps down, we're a third of the way through, and it's Matt Collins out in front. Oh, just struggling to get it pulled up there. Craig Broadbent reducing that gap. So too Eric Chandra closing in now. And that's your top 3 on screen. And that's Brad Martin. I can hear some cars revving, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. Matt Collins, Craig Broadbent. Oh, and who's that? That's Jamie Hemi coming out of pit lane now. That's Chandra just coming around, protecting any incident. Jamie Hemi comes through turn 1, gets a turn nicely. Bradley Martin in P11. So that's for position 2 as Hemi launches his cars. Used to racing on dirt. He's a real life race driver in New Zealand. You're finding down the sprint car track. I forget what his class is called. It's an odd class which is not really seen in Australia, but it's definitely speedway. Very famous racing family in New Zealand, the Hemi family. Make sure you look them up, check them out. As it looks like Spotto's in pit lane or just out of pit lane. Oh, I just heard someone go in the dirt there, but we'll go back up front because that's the lead. That's Matt Collins, Broadbent Chandra. Just send the drone further up the screen. You can see the track really rubbering up now. And that's Broadbent chasing down Collins down the back straight. And we can pan to, that's Eric Chandra coming down the back straight as well. So there's the gap with the bird's eye view. Oop. Oh. Baker back in P5 now. Brooksy's made the jump, but where's the gap? Brooksy's out on track. He pitted a few laps earlier. So he's got Baker in P5 chasing him down. This will all come out in the wash as we get closer towards the checkered flag, but we're only a third of the way there, so expect a couple more pit stops. These boys have really got to do them cleanly and not give away any penalty, and they really got to watch their entry speed to pit lane, as very easily will cop a pit lane penalty. Ludwig Askinas is our Lithuanians in P7, quite comfortable. Qualified further back, P10 I think. In fact, we'll see who's gained through after pit lane. So the biggest one would be actually Askinas with gaining 3 positions there. That is not the finish. We've still got plenty of laps to go as we're watching Ludwig Askinas in P7. Okay, so Collins and Broadbent battle is heating up the front, and this is our series sponsor and series defending champion battling it out on track. See how close they get through the last corner on the main straight. Now it's just a drag strip. Broadbent tucking in to the slipstream. Will he go the late break? No. Collins too good for that. So go round. Changes closing in on this too, so the battle's really slowing them up. We're in the shadows of Matt Collins now as we're watching Broadbent try and tuck in and try everything he can to force Collins into a mistake. If this is going to be the battle throughout the race, they're really going to get tired towards the end. So unless they're... Oh, Broadbent going wide, he's going to cut back up underneath, but he hasn't got the momentum. Collins too smooth through that section there. Just blipping through the corners just to change the direction. Beautifully onto the main straight goes Collins. Again, he's trying to come up the inside. You can see the gap not really changing as they come through turn one. Here comes Chandra. Chandra closing in now. Let's go back to him. So he's got the two ahead. Just waiting for something to happen to the guys out front. And there is a yellow in sector 3, which we're approaching right now. Oh, that's bright. That's what we've been waiting for. Collins just making the mistake going wide. He's lost a spot. And that's Hambrick going wide there. That was our yellow sector. Collins coming. Oh, they've just closed. Chandra's going to get this around the outside. Oh, I don't know where to look at the moment. Oh, they've all stayed on. Collins forced to come into pits. That could be an early pit stop for him. Not too sure if he meant to come in there. But that was going to be a great battle coming on. So now it's up to Chandra to chase down Broadbent for the lead. Collins in pit lane, just getting another set of boots on at lap 33. It's going to be a long night. That's at least 2 more stops before the end of the race. And he's gone the white compound, which is the softs. Opposite to the F1 if you're familiar with the F1 tyre compound. And Collins rejoining in P5 for the number 5 of MJBUILD Constructions. So Baker now up into 4. Brooksy up into P3 for Team Sydney. Local Legends car. You can't miss that yellow. Quite striking, to be honest. Just seeing if I can see any other battles out on track at the moment. So I've got Hanbury in P15 at the moment. One of our rookies just coming to grips with sim racing and R Factor 2. So this is good experience for him just to sit in and do the time. He's joined us at the tail end of the league, but anyone's welcome to join. Just follow the Discord, get in the community and get racing with us. Our next race will be at Bathurst and we're looking forward to that. The one race of the year, everyone comes out of the woodwork to join, and you're welcome to join us too. Luke Tolhurst having a couple of early pit stops. Currently lapping in the 106s, so they're solid lap times from Luke Tolhurst. And he's trying to chase down Andrew Chilui, who's currently in P13, and that's the position he's chasing. So that's the live gap between the two. Then we've got Troy Cieslawski just going through camera there. He's in P12. And then we've got Bradley Martin just up ahead. So he's got a breathing space, and he's chasing down Jamie Hemme. So there's a couple of battles right there. And James Spotto slipping down to P9. Not too sure if he's made a couple of pit stops at the moment. We're only showing one pit stop from James Spotto. So he was a lot stronger earlier on in the race, but not too sure if he's just falling back on old tyres. But Jeff Wynn, Jeff Wynn. That's Jeff Wynn at Entertainment Park. And we've got another couple of guys just behind those two as well. We've got 4 guys in the race at the moment. Jeff Wynn, Luke Tolhurst, Andrew Chalui and David Baker. We've lost a feed to his camera, so we'll try and get that back towards the end of the race. David Baker in 3. Flack not too far behind, charging down. I'll give you the splits at the moment. Baker's last lap was a 106.7 and Scott Flack was a 106.1. So very tidy laps from these two. Flack's got a lot of work to do. But Ludwig Askinas, our Lithuanian, in P7. He loves that number. He's been in P7 most of the year. Let's hope he comes up another couple of spots before the checkered flag drops. So back out in front, it's Craig Broadbent and Chandra right behind. Broadbent just stretching out the exit of that turn, getting a better run onto the main straight. Chandra trying to tuck in as much as he can to get any gains from the hole that Craig's leaving in front. Oh, coming through that turn quite nicely. Let's see how they take the curve. See how rough that is on the cars. In the V8s, bounce a fair bit on these. Very aggressive curbs here at Sandown. And this is for the lead after 37 laps. We're just over, just under halfway. Deep under brakes now. Chandra closing in. Taking that quite nicely as we're coming in behind some lap field. So this is going to really shake it up for the leaders. We've got a yellow in sector 3. Can't see where that is, but we'll stay with these two as we're going to have to get cut through the back markers here. Experienced driver, that's Spotto in front. He's in P9 at the moment. Oh. Nice long straight down the back at 6th gear, top speed. Let's see what speed they get up to before they break in a 5th gear, 275. Down in 5th, hug this turn early, then the corner opens up for you. Hard braking down the 2nd gear first sometimes if the tyres are old. Nice and smooth through there, using all the track. He wants to stay close to Broadbent because when he gets past Spotto, he can at least tuck in behind and take that advantage that Broadbent's opening up for him, but he's not close enough. Spotto making way for the 2 now. Oh, Chalui just losing the front end, crashing into... I'll see if we can bring that up. We'll see what happened to Chalui. Come round the corner. Oh, and there's a car just sitting there waiting for him to come, unfortunately. That's his front end. He may have to come into the pits and get that replaced if he's going to lose front end grip. Yeah, you can see Martin Hanbury also losing his front end, and he just understeered through that. So I'll see if these guys come into the pits. and get that replaced. Yeah, looks like they're both coming in now. Not too sure if they got the same pit box. But they'll come in for tyres. Jason Brooks also into the pit lane for another set of boots. We'll see the pit crew change the front end of this car. That's the front end. Chalui sitting there waiting as well. I don't think he hit his pit box early enough. Okay, so it's still Broadbent and Chandra got past James Spotto quite easily, but Chandra's now on the back, and that could be... I think that's Luke Tolhurst in front of these guys. That's the race leader. Looks like Chandra's in the pit lane. So it's just going to be Broadbent. Broadbent stretching his second stint out further, and that's going to pay dividends towards the end of the race. He really needs to get to lap 50. Oh, Tolhurst just getting a bit loose there. So Chandra, that means Collins is up into P2 now. Chandra coming out of pit lane. So that's the gap. Chandra on fresher tyres. Collins was forced to come in around lap 32 from memory. So that's 9 laps old those tyres are. Collins... Looks like Collins came in the pit once again because he didn't register a lap time on that last lap around. Craig Broadbent, our race leader, is lapping in the 106.1s. And Chandra just with that pit stop, so that's null. Baker's in the 106.9s, lapping in P4 at the moment. Oh, and that's Scott Flack right up the inside. Will he get the job done, or will Baker get the undercut? He doesn't have position. He's got to move over to protect the braking zone. Scott Flack, too much of a gentleman to make it. And this is for the lead. Baker in 4, Scott Flack in P5. This is also championship points as well. It's a double points round tonight, so something I didn't mention, whatever points you get, you double it. That's Scott Flack going up on the inside, side by side through the turn now. Back nice and patient through that turn. He's going outside. He's going to come back in. And that's Jason Brooks behind these two as well. So he's closing in on this with a 104.735. That's the fastest lap of the race. We should see a banner come up letting us know that. It looks like from the timing screens, no. Scott Flack's actually got the fastest lap of the race. I must have missed that one with a 104.4, and Brooksy just did a 104.7. But Scott Flack's last lap was a 107. So Brooksy taking 3 seconds off that. So we're on top of Jason Brooks now in P6, and we've got P5 and 4 right in front. And we've got a backmarker who's just gone off into the grass. Side by side with Scott Flack, but Scott Flack's got the run and the better angle on this. Nice and smooth through there. Baker gone in the pits. So now it's just Flack and Brooksy. Two of our most experienced drivers here to drag race down the end. Who's going to get it? I say Brooksy on the fresher tyres. But will he overshoot it towards the end? No, he's brought it in just in time. Great work for Brooksy. Oh, launching the car through those curbs. Moving up into P4, Baker in pit lane. Oh, that was Hemi just pulling it up just in time to make that turn. Currently in P9 in the top 10, doing a great job. Alright, so out in front now, 22 seconds clear. Coming up to all the back markers. And is that, so coming up to lap... No, that's Baker behind, but Baker's in 7, so I'd say Broadbent. Okay, so these boys are being given the blue flag. They're slowing down as much as they can. But there's only a certain amount of places they can actually give way. It's all starting to pack up down this section of the track now. This is where it all gets very interesting. The drivers will get quite tired now. Baker's got to come up on the inside to take that. So Hanbury just moving over there. Nice job from Hanbury to give way. Oh, see those two getting sideways at the same time. Hanbury coming into the pits now. Baker with a fresh set. What can he do as they cross the line? Broadbent out in front. Baker's going to watch Broadbent and just try and stick with him. See if he can learn anything as he's lapping half a second quicker per lap. And he's the championship leader. And that was Chalui just giving way to the front drivers there. So the gap back to Collins is 22 seconds, but Broadbent, now that he's got a clean track relatively, he may come in the next lap or so. But if he stretches out to lap 50, he'll be doing quite well for the latter part of the race. And because he's not under pressure from any driver, he can afford to just take his time with it. So Collins and Chantra battling it out for second and third. You can see the gap there now. Chalui just up in the grass for the Jim's Mowing Award. Put some blades under that car. All right. Baker really wants to overtake Broadbent because there's a difference in tyres. And that's Czeslowski just in front there giving way to the leaders. Good job from them. So Broadbent lapping in the 106.7s, Chantra lapping in the 105, so he's got moved up on Collins. Has Collins gone back into the pits? Oh, that's very expensive for Collins. Showing great pace, but he's got to look after the tyres a bit more if he's going to lengthen those pit stops, because Brooksy's just moved up into P3. And I'd say Flacky's going to come across P5 as well. Baker's out of position, but he's only just come in as he's right behind Broadbent. Don't know if he's trying to overtake and make space from Broadbent. Broadbent's let him go because he knows that he's not in the same race for position. Broadbent might even come in this lap or the next. He stays out once again, stretching that second stint, yet to pit for the second time. Someone else has just rolled in, and that's Cieslawski. He's rolling in now for his set. Very slow pit stop. What's it? Oh no, he's missed his spot. Now he's in the box. That's the right position. So Baker wants to get on with the job and chase down, it looks like Ludwig Askenis out in front. That was a smart thing to do because Broadbent was just holding him up with old tyres. And look at the gap there now. That's, what's that, just under 2 seconds. Ludwig lapping in the 107.7s and Baker with a 106.5, so he's put about 1.2 seconds on Ludwig just on that lap alone. Will Ludwig come in the pits for tyres? No. So they go around again. Baker closing that gap now. Chandra in P2 for HM Engineering. Sun's starting to get long here and the shadows even longer as time progresses in this 75 lap race. 50 laps down, that's 2/3 down, 1/3 to go. So Baker doing a solid job right on the back of Ludwig Askenis now. This is for position for P6. Up in the 5th gear, topping out of 6th gear, 280k by the end of the straight now. He's looking up the inside. Oh, he's just got balked there. He needs to get clear of Ludwig. Ludwig just blocking all those opportunities up the inside. Baker's got to go out the inside, get on the gas early and run, get a good run up the main straight. He's got fresher tyres, so he should gain here. Stay outside, come back on the inside, get on the gas, but Ludwig's blocked that. Oh, great run from Baker. Here he goes. This is it. Will he get the inside under brakes? Yes, gets the job done. Ludwig back into P7 now. His favourite position. Baker up into 6. Ludwig had to pit. Unfortunately on the wrong side of the track, so he's had to give way and come back. Looks like Cieslawski coming out of pit lane again as Askenis enters pit lane. So Baker up into 6 now. Next victim will be Matt Collins, who's further up the road. Broadbent must have pitted because he's down to P3. Chandra up into P1 now. Okay, so this is where all the pit stops are starting to play out. Chandra now in the lead. 7-second gap over Jason Brooks. Let's see what the splits are the last lap. Brooks here on a 105.4 in P2 and Chandra out on a 105.8. So not much in it with the top 4. Matt Collins flying out there on a fresh set of tyres, a 104.8. And Martin Hanbury just posted his fastest lap with a 108.1. So well done to him. He's definitely improving out there on track. So watching the leader, Eric Chandra from Indonesia for HM Engineering. Currently 3rd in the championship. Behind Craig Broadbent and Vlad Tokarev. Tokarev's going to sorely miss this event tonight, so we'll have to drop him a line and see how he's going. Haven't heard from him for quite a while now. Ah, Chalui just going wide on turn 1 there. Okay, so that means Brooksy's right behind and here's Broadbent chasing down hard. This will be a good battle now. It's lap 53 at Sandown Raceway, Victoria, Australia. And the sun's starting to set as we get through the closing stages of this race. Will Brooks hold the inside or will he let Broadbent go through? It's for position, so he doesn't need to give way. This is racing, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's a drag race down the main straight. That's Brooks down the side. Broadbent about to take the lead now. On the inside, just stronger on fresher tyres. Brooks just needs to stay with Broadbent as much as he can just to get himself further up the road. Currently in P3. You can see how much the fresh tyres means coming out of the corner. Brooksy probably due in the next 5 or 10 laps or so. As Broadbent moves up into P2, Jason Brooks third, Matt Collins in fourth, coming down the back straight now. With an extra pit stop, that's cost him a fair bit at the moment, but still ahead of the guys behind like Scott Flack. Got James Spotto moving up into 8s at the moment. Jeff Wins in the top 10, doing a great job in the Penrite Holden ZB. Bradley Martin in the top 10 as well. Martin Hanbridge just off. Racing with us from WA, I should say. So yet another state ticked off on our multi location and multinational and multi-state event. So Brad Martin comfortably in P10 at the moment, Jamie Hemme behind. So that battle's been going on for quite a while. Not much in it, but there's Eric Chandler coming around to catch the back markers. Luke Tolhurst from Entertainment Park up in P12 at the moment. Oh, just clipping the inside there, bringing up the sparks, scraping that underbelly. This is a famous section to do it as well. Very smooth through there. You can see the front rotors really lighting up there. Getting up to 1,000 degrees centigrade. Oh. Andrew Chalui loving turn 1. Currently in P13, just ahead of Martin Hanbury. Doing a solid job for a rookie with us in P14, and then it's Troy Cieslawski. Oh, he's over the fence! Try and see what happened with Troy Cieslawski. He's stuck over the fence. There's not much he can do. How did he get there? We don't know. I am trying to rewind, but we're not going to catch the... Oh, here we go. I'd say he's hit the pebbles, hit the wall and flipped over. And that looks like the end of... He's still in there trying to get out. I don't think there's any exit there. Maybe he rolled it over the inside curb and just rolled over the fence. Unfortunately, Troy Cieslawski's still stuck there. He's trying everything he can, barging through the tyre wall. That should really be filled with tyres so you don't get stuck there, but I guess if you're back there, it's game over. That's very unfortunate for Troy Cieslewski. Chandra out in front now, 5.8 seconds ahead of Broadbent. His last lap crossing the line was a 106.3. Broadbent lapping at a 105.9. So that's 0.4 of a second with 5.5 seconds to gain. Baker starting to fall back to Chandra now. That's Baker just ahead. So Brooksy back in P3. Oh, just overshot turn 1 there. Absolutely launching it over the car. I'm surprised the front splitter's not in pieces. And that looks like Troy Cieslewski is retired for the evening. Unfortunate with only 15-20 laps to go. But them's the brakes. Hopefully he survives, gets the car out to Bathurst and ready for our next round, round 10. Another Enduro for these boys, so make sure you tune in for that one. Craig Broadbent now catching. That's 5.3 seconds gap now. Gap closing. Taking another 0.2 off Chandra. Oh, where's Chandra? He's battling with back markers. That's Baker in front. Baker's got the blue flag, so he should really let this guy go. There he goes. He goes wide. Oh, he's put himself in trouble by doing it. Not the best spot to give way. He should have just taken the corner and then pulled over. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Broadbent's gap now is 4.6 seconds, 4.7. So will these guys need to pit before the end of the race? I dare say so, because they've been averaging about 20-25 laps per stint. And we're within that window towards the end, which we can see Brad just struggling on old tyres. Broadbent going through on P2. Where's Jason Brooks? Oh, he's close by, so he's not too far away as well. Further 2.9 seconds behind. And his last lap was 106.5. So Chandra now into the pits. Let's hope it's a quick stop for this. Right side goes up, left side's going to go up as well, and then it drops and then he's off. That's Jason Brooks in P3, right behind him as well. So this will be their last stop before the end of the race. Here he comes down into P1. Rejoins in position 2. And Collins is right behind, so there it is. Collins probably needs to pits pretty soon just to make sure he gets a full set of tyres out of this one. And it gives him enough time to get back into position. Otherwise he's going to lose the spot to Jason Brooks, who's right behind him in P4, charging hard. 5 seconds back. 5.5 seconds back behind Collins. Scott Flack now. Oh, Baker's into the pits too for his last time. Falling back into P6 at the moment. Flack in P5, half a lap in front. Ludwig going through his same two Spotto. So the two Red Bulls in 6 and 7 once again. That's Spotto in P7. Ludwig just up the road with the Shell car in between. James Spotto is in the top 10, and I think he's position 8 or 9. I'm sure he's 9 or 10, but definitely in the top 10. He's position 9 because I know Cieslewski was in the position 10. So missed a couple of races, but he can afford to drop a couple of rounds and still be in contention for the minor placings. We've got Newen in the pits as well now. coming out, rejoining. Just past the grandstand. That's the old race, well, I won't say old, it's still the racecourse grandstand there, used for the V8s. Jeff went on screen, doing all he can to, very consistent tonight in P9. He's got Baker in front, but Baker's on fresh tyres on his last stint towards the checkered flag. I'm expecting Broadbent to come and pit. No, I'm not. Not too sure if he'll make it to the end. We know Chandra's definitely just changed his tyres, so the gap between P1 and 2 is 19 seconds. That could be a full pit stop, but Chandra took a full second off Broadbent that lap. And there he is on screen behind Jeff Wynn. Ewan. He's looking in his rear vision mirrors, making sure he's letting Chandra through. Great job. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make you get notified when our next race is on. And our next race will be on next Wednesday night, which will be the British Touring Cars at Hampton Downs. Looking forward to that one. That's a great track in New Zealand. And these cars will suit that track very well. So I can see some guys cheering on for David Baker. So where is he? He's in P8. He's done his last stint. He's done his last tyre, so he's on a fresh set on green. Still yet to get up to temperature. So he's got James Spotto in front, 6 seconds up the road. We'll just see what the splits are for these two. Spotto just lapped in a 108, and Baker just took off 2 whole seconds off only 1 lap. So there's definitely enough laps in the race for him to take that position. And Ludwig up the road as well. So will they need to pit again? We'll find out towards the end of the race. Alright, watching Matt Collins, P5 in the number 5 for MJBUILD Constructions. Okay, we're just going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, with 8 laps to go, it's been a long one for these boys. We're going to recap the positions. Jeff Wynn's just struggling with losing audio and sound on his simulator. So it's Craig Broadbent out in front with a 16-second lead. I dare say he's going to try and stick it out and just suffer for the rest of the race, but we'll find Chandra closing in as he's lapping at least a second ahead of, a second quicker than Broadbent, but there's not enough laps for him to continue to do that. Right, so it's Chandra in P2, 16 seconds behind Brooks, 7 seconds behind Chandra in P3. Scott Flack, our next best, in P4. And it's Matt Collins, a further 12 seconds back. We can't afford anyone to have a late pit stop, otherwise they're going to lose a lot of positions. As we saw Matt Collins pitting an extra pit stop ahead of most of these guys. So to still be in P5 after all of that, it's a great effort. Ludwig Askinas in P6, he's stayed solid and moved up into P6, which has been good. Baker slipping back into 8. So we'll see if he's going to make any gains on the guys in front as he's chewing out 2 seconds a lap to the guys in front. So is there enough laps ahead? We've got 7 laps to go, 2 seconds a lap, that's 14 seconds. He could get Spotto, but he won't get Askinas unless Askinas pits. So that's Baker in P8. Jeff Wynn, as I said, he's a full lap down from Baker, so that's not for position, but they're right behind each other on track. Further back, it's Bradley Martin still in the top 10. There he is on screen. That means Jamie Hemme from New Zealand in P11 in the Shell Helix car. Luke Tolhurst, our second of the Penrite cars, just getting overtaken by Jason Brooks, that is, in P3. Shadows are getting quite low. Oh, Luke, hold on to it. 6 laps to go. Chalui is in P13. Really struggling to get the car to pull up in time, and in turn 1 we've seen a few times. Unfortunately, turn 1 hasn't been kind to him throughout the race. And then it's Martin Hanbury out in P14. Nice solid job. His fastest lap of the race, as we said. Well, he's got it down to a 107.192, so he's taken a good second off more than when we last checked in with him. And Trocheslowski retiring. So it's brought out in front. Who else we got close by? So Chandra down to 14 seconds with 5 laps to go. That's not going to be enough. I'd say Broadbent, unless he's on his last inch of tread on his tyres, he's going to hold this one and take it home for the win. Just making those pit stops last longer. Maybe he chose to take the third stint nice and easy, but he definitely gave himself a lot of work to do towards the end of the race. He won't have enough time to pit and come back out with not a splash and dash, but a new set of rubbers. It's going to be too long and costly for him, as Chandra's now within 13 seconds. The gap down at Brooks has stretched out to 8 seconds now, so Brooks is struggling there through turn 1. They're all spaced out on track, but that was Scott Flack coming around P4. I don't know how he's done it from the back of the grid, getting caught up in that accident earlier on in the race, lap 1, turn 1. And he's managed to drive a solid drive and be up in contention with 4 laps to go in P4, defending against Matt Collins, who's 10 seconds behind. So Matt's taken a second out of Scott in that last lap, but again, it's all about having enough laps left in the race, and there won't be enough as we've only got 3 laps to go. Unless anything major happens, it looks like this will be the closing finishing position. Matt Collins further back. That's a gap back down to 5th position with Matt Collins. Scott's just got to hold it tight, hit his marks, and he'll finish in P4, just off the podium. Ludwig down the back straight now in P6 still. And that's the other Red Bull car, James Spotto, position behind in P7. So it's showing us a 5.5 second gap as they come through the fast section. David Baker needs to pick it up. He's got 7 seconds. He's only taken 0.8 off that last lap, so it's not enough for 3 laps to go. Jeff Wynn still struggling. Oh, he's got Bradley Martin closing in on him as well. So Matt Collins in the middle. Jeff struggling to pull it up. Oh, and now this is a race for P9 at the moment. Bradley up the inside. Oh, Jeff just coming across there. Not too sure if he saw him. He's got no audio, so he definitely can't hear him. So that's the only closest battle on track at the moment as we speak. Chance to reduce that lead down to 12 seconds. So this is the on-track race battle. P9 between Jeff Wynn, racing from Bankstown, and Bradley Martin, racing from Queensland. He's trying everything he can. He's in the slipstream. Ford versus Holden. At the moment, it's Holden staying out, but Brad just running wide there. He's not going to take that position under that, but just going to overshoot that corner once again. They both do. Oh, and Brad's just spun it. Oh, that's given Jeff plenty of breathing room now with only 2 laps to defend. And here comes the leader at the moment as well in the orange Race Tech Steel, Ford Mustang, defending champion, the number 1. Doing a great job. Down into P1 with we're on our last lap at the moment, so that's lap 75. Bradley Martin just getting through there, staying out of trouble, and he lost his opportunity to get that position back. But Spotto's moving up on a Skenes. As he's taken almost 2 seconds off that last lap, so if anything happens between them, there could be a position change before the end of the race. But at the moment, we're with Craig Broadbent on the last lap of the race, 75 laps. He's kept it solid. This is showing why he's the current championship leader and defending champion. Here he comes to take the checkered flag. And that's Broadbent crossing the line in P1. Congratulations, Craig Broadbent, today's champion, bagging double points And that's Chandra crossing the line for P2. The gap ending up being about 8 seconds. Jason Brooks, solid job from the back of the field. We saw how strong he was. So too Scott Flack. But Jason Brooks finishing in P3. Scott Flack coming around last couple of corners now. Just got Luke Tolhurst behind him. Just one corner to go to take P4. She crosses the line, and that's Matt Collins right behind the last car there. He's crossing the line in P5, so another 5 laps. Maybe Matt Collins could have had that, but wasn't to be. Ludwig trying to give us a burnout there, but got old tyres. Spotto in the pits. David Baker coming home in P8. Really unfortunate with... He drove a solid race, but I think pit stops was his undoing in the end. Jeff went in... So I got the boys just giving us some burnouts. So I bring up the race results for round 9 of the championship. It was Craig Broadbent. Solid job out front, 75 laps, taking first position ahead of Eric Chandra and Jason Brooks in 3rd place. Scott Flack, both coming from the back of the field to get close to the podium. Great job. Matt Collins spending too many pit stops replacing those tyres. Comes home in P5. Really costly for Matt Collins. He was showing a lot of pace with one of the fastest laps of the race too as well. Not to be, Ludwig Askinas finishes in P6 ahead of his teammate Ludwig from Lithuania, James Spotto from Newcastle. David Baker bringing it home in P8 ahead of Jeff Wynn, who lost his audio and really affected his closing laps there. Comes home in P9 in the number 9. And rounding out the top 10, it's Bradley Martin from Queensland. P11 was Jamie Hammond from New Zealand. Congratulations to him. His first race with us in quite a while. Coming home ahead of Luke Tolhurst, Andrew Chilui, and Martin Hanbury's first race with us ever. So congratulations to him. And unfortunately, Troy Jaslowski getting stuck up in the wall there and unable to continue the race. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe and notifications. And we'll see you next week for the British Touring Cars at, I was going to say Highlands. It's not Highlands. It's, I've forgotten right now. It's another New Zealand track. And the next V8 race will be Bathurst. And that will be on the 4th of October, so make sure you tune in for that one as well. Okay, alright, so that concludes the racing for this evening. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.